It's Nigeria that provided the intelligence. I was on the phone yesterday for 19 minutes with Secretary of State Marco Rubio of the United States. We spoke extensively, and we agreed that I was going to speak with President Tinubu, for President Tinubu to give the go-ahead.
Yes, hello family, brothers and sisters, welcome again. A few hours after U.S. military drops bombs, Nigerian Foreign Minister Tuggar came out and said it's Nigeria that provided intelligence to the U.S. Army to bomb terrorists. Do you agree with that statement that Nigeria provided intelligence to United States of America Army to bomb terrorists? If it's true, why Nigeria didn't take action to bomb those terrorists? Because we know that Nigeria has intelligence that can identify where terrorists are. They are. But Nigeria provided those intelligence to the United States of America Army. Here is what the Foreign Minister said. Listen, then I'll come to you.
Done before the strikes. Were we also involved in that, and how so?
It's Nigeria that provided the intelligence. I was on the phone yesterday for 19 minutes with Secretary of State Marco Rubio of the United States. We spoke extensively, and we agreed that I was going to speak with President Tinubu, for President Tinubu to give the go-ahead. And I did speak with him, and it was agreed also that the statements that would follow would be statements that will show clearly that it is a strike against terrorism and that it is part of the ongoing joint operations between Nigeria and collaboration between Nigeria and the United States, and that it is not to do with religion, it's to do with protecting Nigerians and innocent lives of either Nigerians or non-Nigerians. This was clear. We spoke twice. We spoke for 19 minutes before the strike, and then we spoke again for another 5 minutes before it went on.
You can't talk peace and NATO in one sentence. It's not true what you are saying, because what peace did NATO take to Libya? Look at what you did to Libya to date. Because you are going after one man, you destroy the whole country. So if it brought peace in Norway, it has not brought peace in Africa. And our experience with NATO is not what you have experienced. And therefore, we respectfully disagree with that.
Yes, welcome back. Have had this portion of Julius Malema. That you can't talk peace with this NATO member and, of course, Western power. Do you agree that peace can come through deploying or by military operation? Let us now listen also from Malema about the issue of military operation. Do we need military operation to bring peace in Nigeria?
The problem is solved by sending soldiers. Where have you ever seen soldiers solving a problem? Soldiers don't solve a problem. The leadership must meet and discuss and come up with a binding decision. That's why we say we need one legislature, one military, one currency, one president, so that we know when we go into Mozambique, it's not an interference, it's us providing a solution to our own problems.
Those are views of Julius Malema, that we need to have one army, one government. When we go somewhere within the continent of Africa, it's not about interference. It's us who are providing solutions for the challenge. So for America to provide a solution in Nigeria, is it right that US will provide solution militarily? Where is African Union? I think these words must go to African Union. So let us also hear again from Malema concerning about African Union and these continental bodies, all these regional bodies. Why are they not pushing this agenda of a united Africa?
Well, African Union is it's a meeting of friends who don't even call each other to order. They can meet with a dictator who has just, killed his own people and then meet for the whole week and not even mention it. So we can't allow the African Union to continue to work the way it is working. We're talking here about SADC. We have a problem here in Zimbabwe. These members of SADC don't call the government of Zimbabwe to order because it's a group of brothers. That government is violating people there. It has just passed a law of gatherings and speeches and all of that. If they don't like you, you're having a political rally, they just send soldiers, they shoot at you and all of. No one in SADC has raised his voice to say, but what is this? So we cannot have these regional bodies and the continental body, including Pan-African Parliament, by the way, which are not biting on countries that are engaged in wrong activities. What is wrong with President Ramaphosa calling President Mnangagwa to order? It will be coming from a good place. They are all brothers, they are all Africans, they all speak, we assume, for the interest of Africans. So we can't have a situation where we've got regional bodies, continental bodies that become a meeting of elite without concrete solutions to the problems confronting the people of Africa.
Yes, those are words from Julius Malema concerning about African Union. So now you understand that African Union, of course, in some areas has failed. But let me go back to the issue of U.S. Bombing Nigeria. My question to you, fellow Africans, is it that U.S. has mobilized equipment and troops in Washington, or U.S. used military bases here in the continent of Africa? Also, let us hear from Malema how these military bases that are located in the continent of Africa are being used. You know, sometimes when you see these people putting their military bases here in the continent of Africa, we think they're protecting us. They are protecting the interest. They use those military bases at any time they want to punish someone or to punish anyone. Let me take you to Julius Malema. Then you can understand the truth behind these military bases.
This thing of territorial threats, we know them here. We've got an army base here in Botswana. What is America doing here in Botswana? Why is Africa not in American borders? What do you call that? And you come and say imperialism and colonialism is finished. When people expand their territorial expansion through putting military bases at our borders. There's a military base here. A study has been conducted that a fighter jet that moves from that army base to the Union building will not take less than 2 minutes to bomb the Union building. If a war is declared with America, America does not have to assemble any resource from Washington or anywhere else to come here. They are already here. What do you call that? It's democracy. It's free world. We must celebrate that and say, no, imperialism is no longer there. It's in our head. Yeah, what is it doing here? We never went to Asia. We never went to Europe. We never went to America. We are here. We don't establish bases anywhere. Why should you establish bases in military bases in our continent?
Yes, you heard about those military bases, the way they are being used. Of course, Malema has, he said they have already conducted research that the military base that in Botswana can take almost 2 minutes to bomb the Union building. It means the State House of South Africa. Just imagine. So I think even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu didn't understand what happened because maybe he was sleeping when Trump allowed his military to bomb Nigeria. Despite foreign minister said he was in conversation with Rubio before and after U.S. dropping bombs. The question is, the targets didn't affect citizens, because you can fight terrorists, but the people can also be affected. How can we avoid the people to be affected? That's a question. Have you heard at the beginning when these people went to Libya for 1 man? They went to Libya for 1 man, but they destroyed the whole country. So do you think America will cite terrorists and identifying them that this is a terrorist, that one is not a terrorist, and bombs those areas? Oh, they're just bombing maybe mosques or churches or some building that they expect maybe this is a building being used by terrorists. And what if those terrorists are not there? So coming to the point of Nigeria providing intelligence to the U.S. Army. If Nigeria has that capacity of providing intelligence to the U.S. Army, why don't Nigeria carry itself that operation? Because they know and they have provided intelligence. Why Nigeria didn't carry that operation? Of course, you can see the statement of Foreign Minister of Nigeria is almost contrary with the statement made by United States of America, because since then America threatened to deploy army, not to use airstrike, to deploy army on the ground to fight terrorists. So this is a wake-up call and a message to the people of Africa. If you have listened carefully what Malema has spoken in this video, I've tried to find some section or some clips and combining these clips for you to understand. Malema has said we want Africa that has a single army, Africa that is so united. When something happening, for instance, the issue of terrorists happening somewhere, we can go there as Africa. But because right now we are under division, it is difficult to go there. When you go there, it looks like you interfere. So it is difficult for maybe Cameroonian to go and help Nigeria. Why? Because if you go there, it means you interfere. But for America, it is not interference. It is operation. But for Africa, it is interference. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I'm not sure if citizens will not be affected by this operation. I'm not sure. So let us wait and continue to wait what will happen in the next. But all in all, we have to be prepared for being punished. You know, when America is talking about terrorists, we have to understand who is the terrorist. Because we have heroes like Nelson Olise Madiba. Mandela was in the list of terrorists until 2009, when he was released from the list. Despite he came out from prison, he led South Africa as a president, but until 2009, Mandela was still in the list of global terrorists. So what if America at that time said, we are going to bomb terrorists in South Africa? It means they was bombing Nelson Mandela. Today, as I speak to you, Elon Musk has been naming Julius Malema as an international criminal. After Malema standing tall and saying, we want our land, we want to own our land, Malema was named international criminal. So those who sometimes don't confuse, your enemy is not our enemy. You know, sometimes those people who are fighting to liberate this continent are looks like enemies. And those who are working for the masters, those are looks like good leaders, democratic leaders. That's the difference. We have to choose and to understand this sentiment, brothers and sisters. We Africans, sometimes we have been told someone is a terrorist, someone is a dictator. But if you look very keenly, you will understand that man is not a dictator. That man is a good people who are fighting for the interest of majority. Have given example of Nelson Mandela. He was named a global terrorist. Until 2009, he was in the list of global terrorists by the United States of America. So at that time, what if America has to find terrorists and remove them on the face of the earth? It means Mandela has to be removed. So I'm just giving you some views for you to understand this geopolitics and how the world is learning. But all in all, my message to you is we Africans, the only solution for us is to come together, is to unite, to support one another. So maybe President Bola Tinubu has succeeded to cooperate with America. Maybe, I'm not sure, because you have heard that Foreign Minister has provided intelligence to the US Army, but I'm not sure. And I cannot agree or disagree, but we have to agree because the federal government has spoken. But I saw Africans reacted strongly. Some of them said this is lying story. That's not true. But let us assume it's true. Nigeria has provided intelligence to the US Army to bomb terrorists. So family, I'm waiting to hear from you. I will continue to share good news and updates from our motherland, the continent of Africa, the Africa that all of us we wish to be great, the Africa that we expect to lead this world. So, but Africa can lead the world if we Africans, black people, we can come together, unite, and speak with one voice. But we can speak with one voice if we decide to come together and unite. So, family, have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.